Has the housing market destroyed family life? I remember in my childhood, I don't remember any of my relatives, well, maybe two or three, that actually owned their own home. The predominant factor was most of them were either in rentals or social housing. But one thing that was for sure, there was a family there. Everybody met up at Christmas. Everybody engaged with each other on a regular basis. Everybody had time for each other. For example, you would find one relative in another person's house painting it over a weekend. I used to spend my summers at an aunt and uncle's house when we were up in Yorkshire, because they lived just a little bit, well, was it north or south of us? They used to live in the Lake District, so we'd spend some time with them. Today, though, all my relatives own their own homes. And I think there's been a big drive for the worries of a mortgage that people get so bogged down in day-to-day life that they forget they're not actually enjoying life. The social aspects seem to be sucked out of life because people have mortgages to pay. People follow things that really do not matter, at the same time do not look for the things that do matter. They don't put the priority in keeping the family together, they put the priority in the house. Maybe it's buying it, maybe it's renovating it, maybe it's getting the mortgage paid off early. But the house becomes a symbol of imprisonment rather than a status symbol of happiness. It's one of the reasons I'm not too fussed on houses. Although we own our own in the Philippines, we did buy, renovate, and get them all up and running within a year. For a lot of these houses in the West these days, you're talking 25 years to pay the thing off. You're talking a constant flow of money going into a property that on your death, the government will take a huge cut. I know in the UK they were talking of cutting the death duty. I'm not sure if that's actually happened, because I believe the state used to take about 40% of your inheritance. My question now is, if they cut that and then you do get your inheritance, are they still taking it as part of your income for the year? So it's still taking a huge chunk of it, just in a different tax. It's one of the things we're often not told about, but the fact that the government takes with one hand and gives with the other. We're often told it's giving us something or cancelling something, but at the same time no mention of the fact that it makes no difference or we're going to be actually worse off. Either way, I think the housing market is something people buy into without a long-term plan with it. I know many people look at it as an investment. Many people look at it as a bit of security. But at the same time, you're tying yourself to a building. You also may find that you work hard to pay it off and then eventually die giving it to somebody else for free anyway. Was that journey worth it? For families, sometimes. If you have no families, I question that. Here in Spain, I look at the housing market. Many of the houses you can't justify buying because the rents are so low. If you're paying €3,000 a year for rentals, why would you want to be paying $100,000 to purchase a house and then paying it off on the drip for the next 20 years and tied to a country, etc., because you have property here? This is why I sit there, and although I would like a place here, I still question, should I have a place here? Is the housing market going to increase? I would say the problem you've got here is they still continue to build, the same as the Philippines. The UK market is very different because they control and regulate it to keep the prices artificially high. In Spain, we sit and look at a one-bedroom flat in the same town that's brand new, and it goes for 140,000. Yet, within a quarter of a mile, in the same town, you can pick another one up for about 20,000. What's the difference? One is bright, shiny new, and one was built in the 80s. Not a lot of difference for your coins. So the housing market is a bit of an odd one for me, because from an engineering background and a surveyor, the only thing that matters is its structural sound and viability. I can't see the value in a new building being that much more than something a bit older. Also, the fact that people seem to be ignoring the older buildings and pushing for the newer ones, from a marketing and sales sense, tells you that they do not even trust their own market. If they did, they would be selling both because there's enough profit in both of them. But reality is, building brand new doesn't cost a lot. Selling second hand, somebody's already taken the investment many, many years ago when they originally constructed the place. Instead of making 6,000 on a second hand place, brand new one, you could earn 20,000. It all makes you think, what is the point? What's your view on it? What do you think about the housing market and the obsession with people going for ownership? The obsession with daytime TV on property, where people are buying, flipping, buying, renovating, buying for student houses, etc., etc., and the constant push on how successful it is. Yet often we find that those same TV shows were done before the market collapsed, yet are still shown every week. Thanks for listening.